Hello and welcome to the next Living the Deal blog video. I think this is video 3. It's been about 3 weeks since the last one, maybe 4, I don't know. And what have we been? We've been working on small things. There's not a lot has changed. We were prepping in our spare time. We were prepping the game for EGX, which has just passed. So that was last week. Now, if you don't know, Living the Deal is a business management meets life sim game where you have to sort of manage businesses and look after yourself at the same time. Now, I'm going to just blast through the start of the game. If you want to sort of see me explain more of that, you're probably worth checking out the last video. But in this one, I'm just going to sort of show you some of the new things. There's not a lot, but there's a lot of stuff we've changed or worked on to sort of pave the way for everything else we're now working on. And I can sort of explain what you'll probably see in the next video as well, because there's a few things that we're doing differently. So one of the main things now is that all of the first set of characters are in the game, so I'm not using the weird assets from last time. Now I can't remember if our main character was blinking, but we've added blinking to the characters now, so they're a little less creepy. And we've got this nice new sort of opening shot here as the player starts a new game. Ideally, I have a save system in for the next version, so I'm going to just sort of jump into the game, or I'll just start the video mid-game. But I thought I'd show you this new, sort of our new character model for Baz. He's temporary placeholder at the moment, just using the male, like a varied version of our current male, and we've taken away the character customization for now because we want to give it some more depth. I'm going to play as Phil. I don't know why. Hit continue. Right, and yeah. So one thing I want to do is the rent's 2,000, but you start off with 1,000, and a lot of the feedback was that people were surprised that it was really high. Now, I actually don't have an issue with this, so put simply, when you start the game, oh yeah, we've changed how sort of objects highlight, and we have these this temporary, oop, I hit my microphone, this temporary glow thing. I don't like it, actually, because it's wrapping across the UV of each object, rather than like a screen space thing. So I need to replace it with, we're going to do two things. We want to add basically a little icon for everything that you can click, so you can immediately do that, and then add an additional effect to the screen every sort of 30 seconds or so to show you what you can click on. But this is a temporary sort of thing for now. We were sort of experimenting with ways to do that, because previously it was you just sort of had to hover over everything and hope for the best. So yeah, we also have we've got a disable feature now. Chris has gone through and added sound effects to basically every single thing, but stuff is automatically disabled now. There's a new system for making sure that you can't do actions if certain states exist. Yeah, and I still need to do some updates to the tutorial. But yeah, I can't remember what I was talking about before that. New features, characters, all the characters in there. Never mind, it probably wasn't that important. Oh yes, money, that's it. There we go, that reminds me. Yeah, so essentially you start off with about £1,000, and you've got to try and get £2,000. So by any deduction, essentially, as long as you have to make double of what you start with, we keep the ratio the same, so that there's about 1,000 more than whatever you start with. The balance is roughly the same. So I think we're going to start you with about £400 or £500 or dollars or whatever, and then try to make about 1.5 or 1.3 or something, thousand, that is. Because it feels a bit more correct, so to speak. It's sort of an arbitrary high number for no reason. Now, I know the message system was in, but you might have seen a little bit of there's a sort of notification thing that pops up now when you get a new message, just to sort of push you in the right direction, and point you towards where you need to go. I've actually added a filter to the camera now as well, so each of the we got a color grading filter basically so that stuff grades properly, and just that the camera has a bit more nice sort of smoothness to it. Still needs some work. There's some movement problems with it at the moment, which I want to fix, but it does the job for now. So we've also added these little tooltips. Oh, there's tooltips everywhere now. I forgot about that. Yeah, for EGX, we just sort of popped some tooltips into things. I really like them. I think they're really nice. They're basic at the moment. I would like to build a system whereby I can sort of feed icons and more information in. I want to do a pass where I'm using a different text system, because currently I'm just using Unity's built-in text. So the plan is to rework the way that we're sort of rendering text in the game, which should allow us to do more things with the tooltips. And I want to sort of create, under the radar, I want to create a better tooltip design system. But information is there should you need it now, and our characters blink. I mentioned they blink, so that's cool. Yeah, so buildings, immediately you can see that you get a rough idea of time. Now again, that was thrown in just for this version of the demo. What I actually want to do is have a more interesting, I think I'm going to change the color of these pins. I'm just going to change how these pins look. I really don't like these pins anymore. So I'm gonna for the next build, I want to update the UI system for how buildings work. Because when you click this, you need to be able to get more information rather than specifically just go straight there. But that's not crucial at the moment. Now, here we have our new first version of Laura, who's your sister character. And I'm just going to skip through this stuff. You get a rough idea of how, our character's going to look now. We've gone for this sort of, so one thing about the game is that we like the idea that essentially the whole thing is a diorama type feel. So it's very sort of dollhouse toy-like, I guess. And that's something we want to keep improving on the visuals to emphasize. And so all of these characters are sort of plasticky, because I think I don't know, there's something interesting about that mechanic. The problem is we've got to try and make sure that it doesn't borderline on creepy plasticky. So there's a lot more work we need to do to our characters to hit that point. But we're all really sort of happy with the idea behind the motive for creating these sort of sculpted, smooth characters. Rather than like super realistic 3D characters or whatever, because A, they're really expensive to make, and B, they just don't fit the style of the world that we're making. So, okay, so now we've opened up the game a bit more. I can show you exactly what's new. Wayne had done a mastery, and basically everything in here now is the new system. I forgot, we also added a job system. Like extended the job system, so you can now work in more places. At the moment you can only have one job, one tier of a job. I want to expand it so that you can get promotions in places. I've suddenly become very hungry, so let's walk to Nom Noms and order a mega combo meal. Okay, cool. And something's just happened. I've become bloated. So I've also built in this new buffs and ailments system. We keep calling it the afflictions system. Essentially, different actions have a small chance to create a status effect on you for a brief period of time. So if you eat fast food, you can become bloated, which caps the maximum amount of your of certain stats. So you're capped at about 80% of energy and about 70% of your fitness trait. Now, if you build up lots of ailments and buffs, you'll sort of start breaking yourself, and that's kind of part of the strategy of the game, is so that you have to manage really what you're doing. So for instance, I mean, I'm not sure if this is going to work, but for instance, if you work too much at Nom Noms, I am too unhygienic to do this. So let's go to the park. This is the one place that we're not 100% on yet because it's just huge. But you can go to the park and wash in the fountain. So now I'm clean again. Hooray. What time is it? Oh, look at that. All right, so we should now be able to go to the nightclub, which is all newly designed. We've got these characters dancing. And we need to do some changes to how they're rendered, but they're having fun. So, yeah, we've got this sort of nightclub area where you can sit or you can pay money and hire a booth. and build your party. Oh, you can dance. I'm going to do some dance. And then I can order some drink. Order a cocktail. Hey, look, I become slightly tipsy, which has had an opposite effect, whereby we've actually gained an additional amount of fun and an additional amount of social, which means that our overall well-being is up for a period of time. So this is where the balance of the buffs and ailments system, or the start of it anyway, exists, whereby you can maybe counteract some negative effects of your state by consistently being really happy that you've just got a promotion, for instance, but you could be massively bloated or whatever. So you can sort of balance certain states, which means that your overall well-being will always hang around. And it's going to be an interesting thing as the game develops to see how that evolves, and how a lot of this stuff will come down to balance, but how that influences how the player plays the game. So right, we've got our little thing with Vince now, so let's go have a look there. Head home. I'm going to have to sleep. It's nice new daytime. And let's go talk to Vince. So we now have our he's just a tycoon, man. We're so really happy with how he looks. Needs a little bit more work, but as a first pass of our sort of mentor type character, it just fits the bill so perfectly for what we want Vince's personality to be. Yeah, I think we've had his background in for a while. Just having our conversation with him here. Simple seems enough. Blah, blah, blah. It's like money. Great, cool. Fixed a few bugs here and there as well since the last build that I found. And yeah, I guess I'm just gonna wander around because you can see some of these new locations that we have in place. So this one is probably gonna let you work in the movie theater as well. I like the idea that these are the work doors, and we have this beautiful cinema screen. I don't know if we're ever gonna put anything on there. It would be really funny if we did, but I'm not sure at the moment. But you can order snacks, and let's order some popcorn. And what else have we got? Our bank. Don't think you can do anything at the bank at the moment, but you will be able to sort of manage your own bank account. A new supermarket. You can work at the supermarket. This is something I'm working on at the moment, is an inventory system, and that will unlock a lot of the current things that are locked in the game from a sense of what we can progress on building on. And I want to essentially let you buy certain items and recipes and things, and you can make food for yourself which you can carry around, blah blah blah, so you don't always have to go somewhere to eat or whatever, and redeem your stats. Let's have a look. And obviously I want you to be able to upgrade items and purchase new items for your house, etc. So that's really important. And yeah, so we have a nice little new fitness center here where we can apply for a job, and we've got 3 jobs now. There's like ultimate job person, and eventually you'll actually have to manage your membership here, so you won't be able to use stuff if you don't have a membership. And I might add a bit of dynamicness to this interior camera, so that sort of as your mouse moves, it just moves a little bit, because I feel like it being completely static is a little bit boring. And as you move your mouse around, having the environment move a little bit to just a tiny bit with your mouse movement will feel a bit more natural. It will just feel nicer, because at the moment it's just a sort of static thing that sits there, and I don't like that very much. Yeah, I mean, that's more or less out of everything else. We've improved some of the bits of the trading area. We have a bar. A lot of it's just been working on the interiors for EGX and making them all consistent. We did like one last minute thing, is add a fruit machine where you can just waste all of your money on. It has a small chance of paying out, and a random chance of paying out, but most of the time you'll find that you won't win your money. Yeah, so there, I'm just going to bet all of my money on the fruit machine, because why not? Let's see if it does eventually pay out anything. Oh, I'm entertained though. That's good. I'm pleased. I've spent nearly all of my money, but I am happy. So there we go. We're just flat broke now. So that was fun. And we can trigger the trading sim stuff again, but there's not more work. A lot more work needs to go into that first. And yeah, that's pretty much all we've done so far. Again, a lot of it's been prep for the show, and some back-end systems. This Affliction thing is great though, because it lets us do a lot more and add a lot more randomness, I guess, or chance to certain states occurring, and really then having to manage your own sort of work-life thing. If you're working too hard or whatever, perhaps you sort of get an overworked affliction, which, you know, continuously negatively affects your work stat down here. So yeah, there's a lot of potential. It's now moving forward, which is great for us. We're so happy about this because we've been running around in circles for ages, and so it's nice to actually be at a point where the game is, you know, the next build of the game is going to have more stuff in. So really, I want this inventory system in the game for the next update, and ideally, hopefully, start building on the relationships mechanic. Yeah, I don't know if skills are fully... Yeah, skills aren't fully working yet, so I want to get those working as well. And I feel like inventory system is going to be the big thing that you'll see next time. And a save and load, so I can actually start a game without having to go through the tutorial opening thing. Yeah, and also build a day-to-day element of the game. So that's really all we've got for this week. And this month, I guess, and I guess I'll see you in the next video. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button if you want to stay tuned and be notified when we are uploading more of these development videos. You can also support us on Patreon. There's links down below or elsewhere, and you can follow Living the Deal Game. No, it's just Living the Deal on Twitter and Facebook. Just the name of the game. And yeah, leave a comment, let us know what you think. Maybe if you have anything you suggest, go ahead and let's hear it out. But otherwise, thank you very much for watching and supporting us, and I look forward to seeing you again very soon. So I'm gonna hunker down and develop more of this game in the spare time that I do have. So bye.